Yeah, need some whiskey. That Statesman whiskey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta do it like this, though. And then you gotta sniff it like this.
Did they do that in the movie?
Yeah, dude, he was doing it the whole time. Every time he opened up a bottle of anything, he sniffed
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
I don't. You know, you and me are coming from two totally different points of view about the first film.
Yeah. I personally didn't like the first one.
And I personally loved the first one. Like, that's what was it. I think that's one reason why we made this like our first review, because this was like a sequel that I was highly anticipating, and you just were like...
Yeah, I didn't really like care much about going into it.
Yeah.
But I did like the second one a lot more than the first one.
I liked this one a lot, but I liked the first one more. Where it's a good sequel, but it kind of lacks that like newness that the first film had. Like when the first one came out, it was new and shiny, and now you're kind of expecting all this stuff, and it gives you a lot of the same stuff that's awesome.
See, I feel like the second one got a lot of the kinks out of the way that the first one had.
That didn't bug you about this one though, because like I felt like that's what made the first one so unique and fresh, where this one just felt like another spy movie. Like, you know, the first one, it was, you know, it was a spy movie, but let's do it like as a YA novel type thing, like Harry Potter. It was just this, it was something new and fresh, so that's where
Maybe
like...
because I'm so used to those tropes, I just felt them a little stale, and it just felt like it slowed down the whole movie.
I assume if you're watching the review, you want to know what the plot is? Did you see the first Kingsman? It's kind of like that. It's, you know, Eggsy has now been Galahad for a year now, and he's doing his spy stuff, and now a new criminal organization has come and wants to wipe out, you know, take over the world? Is that the proper term?
I mean, that's always what they...
Well, because the first one was like wipe out a good portion of the population, and this one is too, but this one is more like I want control and I want power. Like,
no, it's more to like fix the world in their eyes.
Yeah, which is a really interesting point for a villain to have. What were some things you liked about this movie? Like, what were some of the highlights for you?
The action.
The action?
Yeah. Just the action sequences for me were the coolest part, because it was like watching like a Saturday morning cartoon like come to like live action.
Oh yeah, they were like so insane. Was it like some of the weapons? They were just so crazy and out there.
Yeah, it was just fun to watch in that regard. But in the same sense, I felt like it didn't have any like depth to it at all. Like it was all just spectacle for me.
See, I feel like the thing I liked about the movie the most was the depth. Like one thing I really liked was giving Eggsy, who, that was the problem with I saw going into the sequel, was Eggsy had a whole character arc in the first one. It was boy becomes a man. So where do you take that journey now that he's a spy? That was the thing. It's like, you know, pretty much the first one was what happened, you know, how does he become James Bond? Well, now that he is James Bond, how does this not appear like another Bond movie?
There were a few slow times. I don't know how you felt. Like if you were sitting in the movie and you were just like, are we getting to the end yet, or? Yeah,
it's weird. This one feels a lot longer than the first one. I think this is like one action scene too many. I still like it a lot though, but I think the there's like an action scene on the mountains. That's the one I felt that was like one too many. Like it just didn't feel necessary. But not even that it was necessary. It just felt kind of like nothing exciting. Like all the other action scenes have this really cool like going in and out and just moving with the camera all around. Yeah. The camera follows everything, and it keeps everything like center frame.
That's the whole thing about these movies, is it's style over substance for me.
No, I disagree with you on that one. I disagree.
Why?
That's just it's no offense. It's a cheap argument. You know, oh, it's style over substance. Everybody uses that as, you know, a way of saying that a movie is stylized. But just because a movie has style, it doesn't mean it doesn't have substance. Well, a movie's style can be its substance, and I think this movie, like the first film, it's this big bloody action movie, and it's a spy movie, but at its core, it's a movie about, you know, class.
To me, it feels like they don't really care too much about what the audience thinks. It's got its own like story it wants to tell, and it's just gonna go to point A to point B in any way it wants to. Whatever it thinks it's gonna get a laugh out of you, it's gonna go that way. And even if it has like a gaping plot hole or some sort of like lap in logic, it's still gonna go to that point, and you don't really care too much at that point, because like I said before, you're basically watching a giant cartoon, and so none of the physics feel real to you. And I mean, in the universe it feels real, but not in reality. So I think I kind of checked reality out the door when there was like a robot hand. Exactly. And that's what I like about the second one. They play it up more in this one, whereas in the first one,
second cat,
you don't really see too much about it. Yeah, she's an alcoholic. You got to keep her away from this stuff.
But I mean, I sort of understand where you're coming from. I disagree with you though on the plot. Like, what plot hole are you referring to? Is there anyone in specific you're talking about?
You have these intelligence agencies that suck at being intelligence agencies.
I mean, that's in every spy movie though.
I guess.
Like, how many times has what are the ones in Mission Impossible? The MIF or
I don't remember.
MFI? I don't know what they're called. Or MI6 in the James Bond movies. They're always getting compromised. So
True.
that's just a spy thing.
Yeah. But when you're in the audience, it's nice to like be surprised along with the main characters instead of being like, "Oh, you're an idiot. Why didn't you see that?"
Well, what incident are you talking about? This one where like this
The robotic hand where
the robotic hand.
Yeah, so he basically just leaves it in the car. Like, what kind of spy like just leaves the scene that fast? He already knew it was there. He saw it was there, and he
had a date to get to,
which is a terrible thing for a spy. Just forget about everything else.
It's a pretty good excuse.
And it's the whole. He basically killed all his friends because of that.
When you say like
they
that.
never even like addressed that either. Like he was the cause basically.
Well, also, okay, Eggsy, sure he left, but no one else. You're telling me that nobody else checked that crime scene? Like you can't put all the blame on Eggsy for that one.
I guess so, but he was the main operative on that mission, so he should have been.
Are we allowed to talk about what happened?
Sure, you can say it.
So Eggsy has to seduce this one girl, and by doing it, he pretty much has to put
He has to put his finger in a tracker first.
and the tracker is on a condom. It's on the tip of a condom, so he pretty much has to, slip it into the girl, and obviously it's going to be consensual because can't have it not because that's awful.
Yeah, but they have to do this they're premeditative, like going into it.
Yeah, so see, it's still bad no matter what. But it's a play on the whole bond, the whole spy thing, having to seduce someone. And I think it was interesting and sort of funny that they sort of play on, well, he's in a relationship, so he's got to get approval. But I do admit that it is a little like...
It feels weird. It feels like off.
It feels like it's one of the things where it's like it feels off, but it also feels right within the movie. So I don't know.
That's this weird thing about this film. It wants to be so politically correct, and at the same time, you see these like very like crass undertones to the film.
Well, like it almost doubles down because it's like they're like, oh, we gave the girl, all this added, depth and subplot, and she actually was one of my favorite parts of the movie. She had this wonderful scene with Eggsy where like they're kind of like debating, the future of their relationship, and it was a sweet scene. It was a cute scene. I loved all her stuff. But they doubled down. It's like they were almost like they were like, oh, you remember that controversy? We're gonna keep reminding you of it because they brought it up not once but twice. And then they upped it by doing another scene, which, are we allowed to talk about that scene? Oh, yeah, we have a cat, guys. He's going to pop in and out of the reviews from now on. Yeah, like they have another scene where it's like, they thought instead of learning their lesson for the first film, they're just like, well, fuck it. Let's just double down and make an equally more, like, a much dirtier scene.
Yeah, it feels gratuitous to me in a nature of where they just take it like a step too far. Why did you even write that in the first place when there's a million other ways you could go about it?
See, I feel like
it feels like it's just pandering to the audience at that point.
But what audience is it pandering to? Because
just an R-rated audience.
Because that's the weird thing is that the movie is, the movies have a very British sensibility to them, like a very UK sensibility where they're very critical on, America and the US. And these are things that like I noticed that was something that was funny about this one. I noticed that all the statesmen in this movie are named after alcohol. And everybody got a laugh about that.
Yeah.
And I wonder how many people notice or think it's funny that the Kingsman's names are all, Arthurian characters. Galahad, Merlin. Like those aren't really seen with the same laughs here, but I'm wondering how it is over there. And it's like, Merlin's role is the tech support. He wasn't an official Knight of the Round Table, but he is their support.
Mm-hmm.
Hence, Halle Berry's character, her name is Ginger Ale. Ginger ale is not an actual alcohol.
Yeah.
But it's a syrup. So I thought that was a funny thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think the movie it's crass, but it's crass for a purpose. In the same way that you could say Guardians of the Galaxy is, or even Deadpool. Like there's a lot of the same jokes. And I think what I liked about this one a lot is that they knew when to not make a joke. Like they could have a dramatic scene just like kind of like play out. I really did enjoy like the love story aspect of the movie because I think that That's something we don't really see in Bond movies.
Mhm.
You know, Bond. It's every girl is pretty much disposable in a Bond movie. Like Bond, you know, by the next movie, he's totally forgotten about her. They didn't matter. To an extent, that's how it was with the Indiana Jones movie. But to see this one where we thought it was just a callous sex joke in the first film, now that's developed into a full-fledged relationship.
But then they also like undermine it with sexist like humor.
This film has a lot to say, like especially about like America and the president. Like this one was like super obvious in its like political thing, which was fun because they were just like, and I think it was added in reshoots to make Bruce Greenwood, who plays the president, as like this real like piece
Because there's two villains, really. Because we have the president and we have the villain of
played by Julianne Moore.
Yeah.
She's a lot of fun. Like she's really entertaining. I actually liked her more than Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah,
in the
me
first
too.
one. There's not really a character arc with this one that there is in the first one. And I think that's why I don't like this one as much as the first one. I still like this one a lot. Like I had a lot of fun. It was kick-ass, a lot of cool Saturday morning cartoon action. You know, it was funny, it was violent. It was everything I wanted from a Kingsman sequel. Colin Firth, I was going to say, I like that they brought him back. It was interesting because he was such a badass in the first film.
Yeah, you doesn't see that at all. In this one, really.
Like you kind of wonder like how they're gonna, you know, because when you think he's back, it's like, well, fucking movie solved. Colin Firth's gonna kick some ass and take some names. But speaking of which, they never topped that church sequence.
No, I thought they were gonna do like a callback to that and like do it again essentially.
Yeah, like it's. I think
they do that with the bar sequence.
Yeah,
and I was kind of groaning when that came up, and I thought I was going to see the exact same thing, but they did a little bit of a twist on it.
Yeah.
It makes it understandable why they went back and did it again.
I forgot what filmmaker was it. I think it was Robert Zemeckis. He talked about when he was making Back to the Future. He said making a sequel is difficult because people want the same thing and they don't want the same thing. Yeah. If it's too different, it's not the movie they fell in love with. But if it's the same, then they just paid for the same movie again.
Yeah, and then they're mad.
Yeah, so it's a difficult line to cross.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, Matthew Vaughn is one of my favorite filmmakers. I've loved everything he's done. And he has a certain style. This is the first time he's ever done a sequel.
Yeah.
So I think for, you know, his first time doing a sequel is pretty entertaining.
Like I said, I had fun with the movie. I don't think it's amazing. I think it's fun. I think it's a good time killer that if you want to spend the money to go see something fun on the night you have off, like go and do it. You'll probably have a few good laughs. But if you're looking for anything beyond that, it's probably not going to find it.
I liked it a lot. I have my issues. I don't think it's as good as the first one, but it's still a really entertaining film. Like, that's the thing. The first one I knew was going to be hard to top, so I went in with the expectations of, okay, will this just be another good Kingsman movie? And it was. It's almost like kind of like the other some of the Harry Potter films. It's like Chamber of Secrets isn't groundbreaking, but it's still entertaining, and that's how I felt about this one. This is just like the Chamber of Secrets of the Kingsman universe. It's like probably gonna get hopefully we'll get a bunch more. I'll go see every one of them. I'll go see Kingsman spinoffs. I'll go see
Let's not get that.
I'll go see Statesman, a Kingsman story. I'll go see she's running to the theater right now. That's how excited she was for that idea.
I think you can spend your money to go see it if you want to have like a nice like fun date night or whatever. But you could also just wait to rent it.
I like how you're like. I like how you were like, this movie's really sexist. It would make a great date night movie. Like,
yeah, because you guys could have something to talk about afterwards about
very, very uncomfortable.
Some political issues.
Yeah, the politics were like, it was really funny. They were not subtle with the jokes about.
No, not at all.
Which,
the first one wasn't subtle about it either, though.
There's this weird thing with like movies where it's like you either have to like, you know, be better, or you're either the best thing ever or the worst thing ever. I think, you know, you don't have to break, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, and you don't have to break the wheel. You can just be the wheel. And I think Kingsman 2 makes a satisfying sequel. I'll probably see it again. I'll even buy it probably.
Yeah, if you like the first one, you're gonna like.
That's the best way we can say it. If you like the first one, you'll like the second one. If you didn't like the first one, maybe you'll probably enjoy the second one more. Apparently, because that's the takeaway I got.
I will agree to that.
So Kingsman: The Golden Circle. I liked it. You moderately.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you're okay. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Guys, just let us know what you think. You know, let us know your thoughts in the comments below,
and let us know your favorite whiskey.
Yeah, that's apparently a very important topic. That Doomsday Protocol. And guys, don't forget to click that subscribe button, and we will see you next time. To Kingsman.